Turned a little late down the center line. Ended up not being center to C. Nice and straight though. Nice turn. So far, good steady tempo. Could have made the 20-meter circle a little rounder, come a little bit further this direction. Again, nice steady tempo, super relaxed trot. Head lifted in the transition to walk. Working walk could be a little bit more active, getting slower and slower as she goes. So remember, a free walk is not free and it's not a rest. This free walk needs to be much more active. Nice and straight though. So far this is a very straight horse. I love to see that. You see a much bigger difference between the free walk and the working walk. Halt not quite square. Nice and immobile though. Nice transition up the trot. Nicely into the corner. Again, love this tempo. Very steady rhythm. You can see the circle B to E starting to get a little flat, and he's pulling down. Nice correction there though. Lifted him up, sent him forward. Lovely expression on the horse's face. Nicely into the corner. Good transition to walk, much better than the previous one. Again, walk is relaxed, but I'd like to see more action. Hesitation in the corner. Remember, the free walk is not a rest. You stretch down, but there's not enough difference between the working walk and the free walk. Again, though, nice and straight. Cannot say enough how much straightness is important. Really no difference between the free walk and the working walk. Lovely square hold with H. Really, really nice. To see a little bit more action in the working walk, though not at the cost of losing the relaxation, because I love the relaxation. That was a better transition up to trot. Nice and straight down the side of the arena. Good expression. Horse is listening, but not unhappily so. He likes his rider. Overshot the center line again. Gotta work on that. Nice transition to a walk, at least from the back. But you're about 10 feet off center line. And hope. And salute. Yay!
Good job, Rowan.
Okay, so having told you that we'd wait and do nod, and we still will do nod for a while, but she's ready to do a WDAA show.
Excellent.
Definitely.
Fantastic. Woo.
Rowan, that was so nice. I think that you would have gotten about probably a 70%, which if you get over 60, you're doing really well, because I don't know why they do this, but they do, so what can we do about it? In fact, they only give you scores really between 40 and 80. So if you get like an 80, it's like getting 100%, because so few people get it. It's what I always explain to people, because people are always disappointed by their scores.
Yep.
And there's and they should be, because honestly, I personally, and actually there's a lot of people who are feeling this these days, we think they ought to use the whole spectrum because it's there to be used, we feel. But in fact, all the judges have to be on the same page, and so even I, when I'm judging, I have to keep it, So 70 is very good. There is room for improvement, because there always is. And this is intro 1, which is the easiest of these, which is exactly where you should start. So that was all perfect. So let's get on to where you can improve it. The biggest, most glaring thing that would have gotten your score down is center line. Okay, so the center line is the most important piece of the entire test, especially when you're doing virtual, because the judge sits right on the center line, right? So if you screw up the center line, they totally can see every single thing that you do. Now, normally the judge would be at C. And actually, Carol, we're going to have to talk about that. I think you've got to turn this around so that A becomes C. Yeah, it's going to do it soon, because it's going to screw everybody up so bad when you first do it. But I really think it needs to be done.
So all the letters have to change?
You've got to change the arena around.
Yep.
Yep.
I can do that for you.
Yeah, they're probably just stapled on, or
They're nailed on.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to say it, but honestly, it will. If we're going to be doing this, we need to do this sooner rather than later, so everybody can get used to it. Because you are all going to feel like you're so dyslexic when you first do it. It's going to be horrible. But if you hang in there with it, it'll be all right. It will work out in the end. I know, because I've turned arenas around, and it's okay.
Now, what about with the Cutter Farm ones? Is it the same pattern, the same rules, everything?
The Cutter Farm.
They have a Western Dressage show with,
Oh, I think they got in touch with me a year or so ago to say they were starting.
Yeah.
Yes. So the way you know is if they're using WDAA tests.
All right, I'll have to look that up, because we were thinking about...
I think they are. I think they were going to even try and get WDAA approval.
Oh, that's great.
I think they may start with schooling shows and then move up.
Yeah.
But I don't, Nod, the one that I'm telling you is such a nice organization, they are only online.
oh wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they've been great during this pandemic, because they were online, they've been
beginning.
online for 3 years or so. So they've got their act together. So they explain things really well, their website's set up really well. They have lots of different kinds of tests that you can do. So that's why I was thinking it would be good for you. But Rowan here is ready to go to a real Western Dressage show, So,
I only have English stuff, and I'm so sorry.
yeah, that's the only thing. You will have to change your outfit.
Either that or you're
Can I
riding
use
the
the same
English
saddle on
Dressage.
him? Okay,
You can't.
got it.
Now, in Nod, you could. They have English tests.
Good. Okay.
So again, maybe we will stick with not. Who knows what we're going to do?
All right, so at Cutter Farm, if she went, they also have English dressage.
Just
So
real
could she
quick.
ride in that?
Because
Yes.
we're low on time, I want to practice the center line if you don't mind.
Yes, yes, yes. We need to. Yes, you're absolutely right. Okay. So this happened last time, and I'm trying to figure out: is it the fold of the arena, or what is it?
I'm trying to aim for the left of C.
You want to go to C.
Okay.
You don't want to go. You don't want to go to left to C. You want to go because you were like 10 meters 10 feet that way.
Dig it. Okay.
So, in order to, so horses can't make right angles.
Yes.
So, if you're going from, if you're trying to make a right angle turn, you need to start it soon enough so that your horse can make a beautiful smooth bend and nail where you want to be, okay? So you were starting, and it is confusing because the test says turn at A. But when the test says turn at A, go to and get down the center line, that means you've got to get on this center line, which means, and it depends on the level of the horse and how bendy he is as to where you do it. But I think with him, if you started right here just before the pole, and you start turning there, you put your eye on C, boom.
I actually think C is one post too far that way.
It is.
C is
Okay.
opposite
Yeah,
A,
we all know
but
that.
Whatever. I'll go to C instead.
You've got to go to C.
You do
Yeah,
good job.
for this, you've definitely got to go to C.
Perfect.
Because,
Yeah, I think Jasmine has been training us to go for the left of C because it is offset, but we can aim for C. That's no problem.
you know what, the ring is big enough so that it's not like you're so far over there you've run out of room. And I see what you mean now. It is a bit asymmetrical.
Yeah.
So when you turn it around, work on all that stuff.
We'll get it right.
Yeah.
Instead of leaving it.
But for now, for poor me, who's sitting at A and needs to tell whether you're straight,
Yeah, go to C.
Yeah.
aim for C. And the camera too. The camera will like it much better if you aim for C.
That's perfect.
Okay. So that's the big thing about it. Because apart from that, it was very straight. So that was good. Okay. So then you turned right. Now, then you went, I loved the rhythm. I loved how you got into the corners there. That was all excellent.
Don't eat herb stuff.
The circle from B to E was too flat. Yes. You need to cross the center line. Okay, listen carefully because everybody's confused about this. X is right in between E and B, okay, on the center line. You need to cross the center line when you do that circle. You need to cross the center line halfway between X and A, and at the other end, X and C. And so your center line, where you cross the center line, is going to be about here. Okay? And the reason why, now again, the dimensions are a little off, but that makes it even more important that you do this because and I'm talking virtual now, as far as the virtual is concerned, if you go too flat, it's going to look even flatter than it is. So if anything, you want to err on the side of making your circle too round, not too flat. Okay?
That makes sense.
All right, so then you went on, and this was nice. I, again, love the tempo, straight at E. In the corner, I saw your first problems with your downward transition. So what's happening is when you do your downward transition, when you go to do this, he does this. He's hollowing instead of rounding. In the downward, in all transitions, you want their back to come up, not do this. Okay. So for today, the way you're going to approach it is to start asking him to slow down a really long time before you actually need him to, because then you can make little tiny adjustments and you won't pull his head up, okay? So just really take your time. And the reason it says between H and C is because it says between H, develop your working walk. That's because at this level you are allowed to do that. Really take your time. So if you feel his head coming up, release a little bit. And then ask again, and then release a little bit, and sort of do it in increments so that he doesn't do this. But over the long term, in order to get better, you need to teach him that when you put pressure here, it means put his head down.
Yes.
And you can, so he's quite resistant there. So when I do this, he wants to do this. So I stuck with it, and now he's starting to come, but he's like, no, I don't want to do that. So a lot of groundwork would help with that to start with. You need to teach him that when you put pressure on his nose, that if he drops it down like this, the pressure's going to go away, okay? All right, that means that we have 10 minutes left. So you're going to just be very slow about the transition today because we can't teach him this in the next 2 minutes. But you know what you're going to work on.
Yes.
And that will improve your transitions overall. When he knows that there's a little pressure here and you want him to slow down, he knows that he needs to go here, not here. Everything will improve. Okay, so then you went on around your free walk. Your free walk is not a rest. So what happened is you transitioned to your working walk, and it wasn't bad, but then you got slower and slower and slower and slower until the free walk, I was falling asleep. My eyes were going, right? Okay. I want you to come out of there into your free walk like you are going somewhere. The free walk is a stretch, it's not a rest. It's anything but free. The only free thing about a free walk is that he is allowed to put his head down towards the ground as much as he likes. That is free. If he wants to put his nose on the floor, that's okay. But his tempo needs to stay the same. So if you're in a nice active working walk, which I would like to see his walk more active in general, then when he goes to the free walk, he's going to get faster because his tempo has to stay the same, but he's going to take longer steps because he's stretching. So as you come out of there, you speed up in your free walk, not slow down, okay? Again, though, he was straight, and I said, hopefully you'll hear the audio, and you'll hear me say this, that's good, that's not so good, whatever, right? And it should go along with the video, which will be awesome. You'll hear me say over and over, he's so straight. I really love it. I can't tell you how much it's important that a horse is straight, and he's really straight, so that's great. Came around here, we did the trot here. Same thing with the half circle there. Needs to be bigger and rounder. Yep. Then this transition wasn't bad. Cross here, free walk, put me to sleep again. Working walk, not enough, but not terrible. In the corner there, that was a good transition. No, you halted. That was a square halt. That was excellent. This halt, he wandered a little. That halt, he was square. It was perfect. Kept going. The trot on here was nice, and you totally overshot the center line again.
Perfect. Yay.
All right, so we have some.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you ready, Doc? Here, go.